So I'm making this video because I want to share how I alter the design of a layout using my track planning software, and I have a specific example that I'm going to use. And maybe I'll do something like this from scratch, but this time I'm going to modify a layout. This was posted on SlotForum, and I'm going to share my screen here. Actually, I'm going to share my whole desktop here. So let me switch to the post. This is from dandpl or dandpl, I'm not sure. And then he posted this link to this layout here. So this is what he was planning on buying the parts for. And in fact, we might be able to use the exact same parts, and that's what I'm going to start with, is using the exact same parts. But there's a lot of things in here that I wouldn't normally do, having a few years of experience doing track design and racing on tracks. So should be able to see my plan of that track. This is an exact copy of that track, piece for piece, pretty much. The order of the short straights and long straights might be different, but this is more or less the track that he posted. This is a Scalextric Sport track, and he definitely posted Scalextric track. I'm not sure if it's Sport or Classic, but the geometry is the same. So I'll point out some of the things that I would not do myself. And again, this is my personal opinion. Your mileage may vary. Whatever you like in a track, that's fine. But when you ask for suggestions, you're going to get my suggestions. So one of the things I tried to avoid doing is this kind of turn right here, where we, regardless of the direction of travel, we're entering the turn on a very tight radius. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but then in the middle of the turn we have a wider radius, and then we exit the turn with another tight radius. This, in my personal opinion, just is unpleasant to drive. I would rather have a consistent hairpin radius turn than this kind of turn. However, we can use these same pieces in a different way by moving them around. So instead of entering the turn on the tight radius, we enter the turn on the R2 radius. We're going to put that there, and we're going to put this here. Come on, lock in. There you go. And then we'll temporarily disconnect those pieces for now. So assuming the direction of travel is clockwise, we enter that turn on an R2, and then as we're slowing down through the turn, we're going into the R1, and then we're shooting off on the straight from there. This little wiggle back hairpin thing is a turn. I'm going to leave that alone for now. And I'm not real fond of the wiggle into a hairpin, but we'll see. The other thing I don't like is this is basically the longest straight up here in the back, and you're ending it, again, we're assuming clockwise rotation, clockwise travel direction, because that's what he's showing on his plan. So that's how I'm going to assume the layout is being driven. You're basically entering your longest straight on a wide radius turn and ending the straight on what is essentially a hairpin, the R1 turn piece. If this were being driven counterclockwise, I would still not do this R1 turn here, but at least you're leaving the full straight when your car is at high speed into a wide radius turn with these R3s over here. So I'm going to go ahead and just change this turn because we're assuming that we're running clockwise in direction. So I'm going to move that R1. I'm going to put this R2 over here. So we're exiting the main straightaway into an R2. Now I'm going to assume he wants this, angled section. So we're just going to go ahead and connect these here. Now we're working within a 12-foot by 4-foot space. That's what his design, he specifically said 12 by 4 foot. So we've got some room to move around, and we still have room for borders, and I always try to keep border room in mind. So since we have so much space, these are R3 turns right here. I'm going to go ahead and move this R2 down and put these R3s over here, similar to how he's got R3s over there. So basically you're entering and exiting the longest straight on an R3, whichever direction of travel you take this track in. And now we've still got this little leg here, and we can finish that out with an R2 that he's got. Again, I'm just shuffling the pieces he's already got. So we're gonna go R2, R1, R1, and then we're back to the front straight. Now I'm just gonna temporarily move part of this over here. Looks like we still might have just enough room for borders, but I think we can go ahead and eliminate that. I think that's a short straight. I'm not sure what piece that is. It's either a short straight or a quarter straight, but we're just going to move that out of the way for now and connect these two here. And so now we definitely have enough room for borders. So I'm going to go ahead and stick some borders on here. We're going to do all outer borders for now. So outer border for R245. So we're going to just tack that there, and these are R2s over here. This R2 180 that I'm working on, that's fine. I have no problem with that. There's an R2 there, there's an R2 there, and those are 3s and 1s. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tack on outer borders for the R3s as well. There we go. This will help us while we're moving things around to make sure that I'm accounting for the borders, because whether you're driving non-mag or magnet traction cars, having border to slide on is a good thing. So we're going to put borders on all of the outside turns. And I'm going to do my best to make sure there's room for borders. And it's really just a matter of shuffling pieces around until you get it where you want. So for example, I'll take this whole section and I'll move it just enough so that the border would fit in that little nook here. But ideally we want this whole thing to connect, right? So we're going to assume we're going to leave this turn alone, and we want this to connect here without a whole bunch of weirdness. So I'm going to temporarily move that R1 there. And do we have anything else we can shuffle around? Not really. So, well, actually we got this short straight. Let's see what happens when we put that. Oh, no, we're not going to be able to do that because then it's beyond. Well, it might be. Let's see what happens. We're going to stick that there. And then connect those up. Come on. There we go. And then do we have room? Just barely. It might, in real life, it might squeeze together. Like if this 12-foot table is between two walls, the track will probably compress a little bit end to end in order to fit there, because we're only talking about maybe a half an inch total. So let's go ahead and leave it like that, and I'm just going to go ahead and move this up to the top so that we can make use of all this room down here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put another R2, because I don't know anybody who doesn't have plenty of R2 pieces. So we're going to reconnect that with an R2, and I'm going to go ahead and put an R2 border on there. Come on. There you go. Okay, so now let's see how this meets up. And we still have enough room right here between the outer border for this R1 and this straightaway. So that's totally doable. Now let's stick this back where it goes and see how it lines up. That's actually not too bad, but we want to make this come out a little higher. So if we can replace that R1 with another R2, so I'm just going to copy this here and stick that there. That looks pretty darn close. So is that a quarter straight? Yeah, that's a quarter straight. So this might actually meet up. When these two ends get compressed, those will get closer together. I think overall this gap is closable, and we have border room on all sides and on the insides for outside borders. And the only thing we've done is we've swapped two of these R1 turns for two R2 turn pieces, which is basically one pack of turns. So if you're buying track from scratch, from stock, then instead of getting that many R1 turns, you're getting one less pack of R1 turns and one more pack of R2 turns, because they all come in two pieces per pack. So it should be about the same money, Borders, of course, you can get the Scalextric borders, or you can make your own. But yeah, without completely changing everything about this layout, that's how I would do it. I might, because we still have, like, if we're trying to fill this 12x4 space, we've got a few inches down here. So if I really wanted to maximize the space, I might open up this turn a little bit to bring it closer down here. And the same over here. I might open this up a little bit more to bring it closer down here, and then give a little bit more room on the inside for things to connect. I might use, some R3s instead of this R2 here. I might use an R2 for that piece instead of that R1. But overall, if somebody posted this, I'd say, yeah, that's pretty good. If we wanted to, we could probably move this section. We might be able to get another half straight out of it. Yeah, so it looks like if we wanted to, we could go ahead and make that longer. And then we put this half straight here, and we stick another full straight in there. So now we've lengthened this. So in fact, this front straight is almost as long as the back straight. If we really wanted to maximize the length of the back straight, we'd go ahead and get rid of these angled sections and go straight to a more 90-degree turn. Or we might even turn one end of the track, like this end, might just get turned into an R4 sweeper, as they call it, just a giant R4 turn from back to front. That's another way of doing it. What the hey, let's do that. So let me undo that. I'm going to go ahead and take a snapshot of that. And we're going to go ahead and post it in that thread. And I'll post a link to this video as soon as I upload it as well. But let's go ahead and change that to a sweeper. So we're just going to delete this whole section here. And probably that at least. Move that down. Okay, so now we're just going to see if an R4 will fit. I don't think an R4 fits in 4 feet. No, we're going to be too wide. So we'll make it a combination turn. Yeah, so I can't even finish that. So I'm going to take that last piece out. And then what we're going to do is go R4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, and see if that fits. And if not, then we will move it around some more. So I'm just going to move this down. Yeah, I can already tell we're not going to get 2 R3s in there. So let's go ahead and take one of those out. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get those in. So we're going to close that with R3 turns, which is this guy here. And even that might be pushing it. Yep, I think that's pushing it. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get borders in there. So I'm going to take that out and put an R2 in there. So it's basically going to be an R4 down to R2, back to R4, R3, R2 combo. But what that is, and it's a nice parabolic turn. So you can come in fast, carry your speed through, and come out fast down the front straight. And so we're going to go ahead and slap some borders on. R2, there we go, and R3. And we haven't done R4 yet, so R4. And I'm going to stop the recording after I get this to meet up, because that's basically all we're going to do for now. Now we're going to go ahead and move this section all the way to the edge. Back it off a little bit and center it all. Looks like we could probably get a little more out, but let's leave it there for now. And we might have to shorten this up a little bit, but we're going to make this connect. So let's go ahead and just put a half straight in there and connect it up. And it looks like that's not half straight. So that's pushing it. Let's do a quarter. Or we might have to adjust some other things. Oop, so here's a trick we can do is change this for R4. Go ahead and copy that one. So this is the kind of trick that you learn from messing around. Just by changing that turn from an R3 to an R4, it pushes this whole straight further down, and that might be enough for a short straight. Yeah, that's almost perfect. So we're going to stick those together, center the whole thing up. Yep, we still got plenty of room. And now we need to make this inside area connect. So we're going to start with that one. We're going to take this guy out. And let's change that for a couple of R3 turns. And see if it connects. If not, then we'll shuffle things around some more. Yeah, that's asking a little bit too much. But let's swap this out for a half R2, which is this guy. 22.5 degree R2. That looks pretty close. Let's put a quarter straight in there. There we go. So that would totally connect in real life. And we have border room all around for everything. We've completely changed this end so that you're more or less, it's not making the back straight into a really long straight, but it does let you carry more speed. So if you're running counterclockwise, you can really punch it here, carry some speed through there, and really get some speed up through that back straight before you're slowing down for that kink into the 180. And then, yeah, this layout, I would run counterclockwise, or I would basically mirror the entire layout and run it clockwise. But I think that's enough for now. So I'm going to stop the sharing and stop the video and share it. And I look forward and welcome to comments and like and subscribe and comment and blah, blah, blah and all that. Have a good day. See ya.